Rakim has returned with a new album after, 15 years. This is Fresh Hip Hop Opinion with your guy Alize. Don't forget to subscribe. So yes people, the God MC Rakim has come out with a new album called God's Network Rebirth. Interesting album title, and it's a very short album, 7 tracks. Album covers a bit high schoolish, doesn't look that much effort in there, but we're talking about the music here people. Let's get into it. Let me review Wagwanin. So straight into track number 1, which is Be Ill, which is the main single of the album, and it's a good intro. I liked it. The production was really good. I like the production, and that's another thing. Rakim apparently produced most of this album. That's what I'm hearing. In the video he's actually scratching anyway, so I don't know why he's doing that at this big age, but live your life. But yeah, I like the Rakim's verse. Very good verse. It was typical Rakim. The syllables were on point. In contrast though, I wasn't really feeling Corrupt's verse. Yeah, Corrupt's on the album, and his verse was very uncorrupt, like it was very almost a lazy verse. There was no effort in there. There's one part he just stayed quiet for half a bar. Even in the music video, Corrupt's looking very, very frail. I know he's got a drinking issue. I hope it's nothing worse than that, because he's looking very skinny. And then Master Ace from the Wu-Tang Clan was the other guy on the song. His verse was decent. It wasn't as good as Rakim's verse, but it was better than Corrupt. So, but overall, I liked the song. Overall, it was a good song. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Track number 2 was Now Is the Time. This one sounded very old school to me, I'm not gonna lie. And old school, and not in a good way. It was cool hearing BG on the song, but overall I wasn't feeling the song too much. At best it was an average. I put this a 5 out of 10, and that's being generous. Track number 3 was Love Is the Message. This song was alright. You know, Nipsey verse was on here. I felt like the verse was a bit random, particularly what Nipsey was even speaking on didn't really fit the song, and it sounded like a young Nipsey. There was a lot of immature lyrics on that song from Nipsey. Planet Asia's verse was very good. I really liked that one, and the chorus was a bit boring. So overall I'll give a generous 5 for Love Is the Message. Track number 4 was God's Playground. So he does a lot of love and God, and does some almost like symbolism type of themes on this album. But the chorus was again very old school, but I kind of liked it. But again, it has that very old school kind of feel to that chorus. I really like 38 Special's verse. He's a rapper that I like a lot. He was on Lloyd Banks' album. I liked his verse on that album as well. The production was very good. That's the best part of this song. The production, it was really good. This song really reminded me of like almost like a BET cypher, like the way there was just so many rappers jumping on, spitting a verse like that. But overall, I'll give this song again an average 5 out of 10. But let me say again, a shout out to 38 Special, very good verse. The next song was Pendulum. Now this beat was the best beat. It was pretty fire. A whole bunch of rappers on this song. Every single one lit it up. It was really good. Everyone spit fire, especially Crooked Eye. Crooked Eye, I believe, had one of the best verses on the album. But Crooked Eye just does what Crooked Eye does. I like the chorus as well on this. Possibly my favorite track on the album. I'll give it a 7. Could have got an 8 out of 10, but I'll give it a 7. But everyone check that song out. Pendulum, lyrically, everyone kills it. Next track, International. Production wise, it was decent. I did find it quite decent. The rapping I wasn't so impressed by, but the chorus was very good. Probably the best chorus I heard on the album. I'll place this one with a 5 out of 10. Average really. And then the last track was Sign of 7. And this had Prodigy on the album. I'm a big Prodigy fan, but his verse was very offbeat, you know, and I think the engineer or whoever produced the song could have really edited his verse so it's actually on point with the beat. It sounded very stuck on there without any real care. Because I remember when Eminem did the Tupac album, and Eminem's Tupac album was probably the worst Tupac album, but at least he got his voice on beat with his production. Yeah, Method Man, again, another one of my favorite rappers of all time. And Method Man just did what Method Man does. The flow was the typical Tikal flow. Probably the best verse on that song. Overall, the song wasn't great for me. Again, I'll give it another average 5. I could have given it a 6, but I'll give it a 5 out of 10. And in summary of this album, guys, as you can probably tell from my ratings of each song, I wasn't too impressed. You know, Rakim's return to the rap game after over a decade, you'd think he'd come with something a bit stronger. I feel like this could be a warm-up to a full-length project possibly, because he just did like 2 or 3 verses on the whole album. I mean, granted it was only 7 songs, but you would imagine he knows that his fans were expecting a bit more when he says he's gonna drop a project. Yeah, I feel like this was more like a mixtape sort of feel. It wasn't well mixed. The vocals and the production didn't really mesh well, like it wasn't properly mixed down. The features, a lot of features on the album, I'll give it that, but they had a few times where they'll put like featuring Snoop or featuring DMX and they just spoke on the song. It wasn't like they actually rapped, which was a bit misleading and a bit weird. It was interesting, they had a few dead rappers on the album as well, like Nipsey, DMX, Chino XL, who just recently died, rest in peace to him, and of course Prodigy. I don't know what that was about, whether that was a purpose theme of the album. But overall, if I'm gonna rate the album, I'll give it a 5.5 out of 10. I can't even really push it to a 6 because everything was pretty average and the choruses at times just sounded too old school. And the biggest disappointment was you barely got 3 or 4 verses from Rakim on the whole joint. But that's my opinion, people. I want to know yours. Leave a comment below, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It's Fresh Hip Hop Opinion. Peace and love.